I'm Larry McCullough for the Woodbridge Channels. We're here today to attend a tuba unveiling at Dylan Music here in Woodbridge. This is a very special tuba, especially made for the man who's going to give it its world premiere, Howard Johnson, jazz tuba virtuoso known the world over. Let's go inside.
I received an email from Howard Johnson, and he was looking for somebody to make a tuba like the one he had. Luckily, those instruments, like cars, like everything, age after a while. And his first love, not only music was his first love, but he had a Mayong tuba from Belgium that was his first love, for which our company already had made parts. And so he was looking for something like a rebirth, recreation, an improvement on that old instrument.
Gerhard told me that he was going to be making this instrument. Since Howard's an international jazz artist, but he's stationed in New York basically, we said we would like to be involved in the unveiling. So the instrument was sent back and forth when prototypes were made for Howard to try. They were sent here and Howard would come and pick them up. And then the final prototype, which we have here, was just received a few weeks ago. Howard came down, played it, took it away with him for a couple of weeks. We feel that our closeness to New York makes it an opportune place.
It's not what tuba players are used to playing. They're more, you see some tubas have the valves on the side and the bell over here. So you play them like this. And most people prefer that. They don't like them to be up here. I personally like the valves here.
And so I thought, wow, Howard Johnson. And of course I was very reluctant and very shy, nearly answering. And we set up an appointment in Basel, Switzerland, to see whether we could match his ideas, because first of all you have to get to know each other, to learn what the player expects from the instrument, but also expects from you as to what sounds and what methods of making, how you want to influence intonation, sound, and response.
Well, it's not a big heavy horn. It's got maybe an extra wrap to it here, and so it's kind of compact, and it's not a horn that the bore, that is the diameter at the valves, is so big that's where your big sound comes from. With this instrument, your sound is as big as you make it, you know, and at the same time, it has the ability to be very fleet.
It is surprisingly for what you would expect, like you see in a college band, marching band, a convertible tuba. It would be much smaller. It would be much more compact, of course, because you have to carry it on the shoulder on the football field. But here it's really a relatively big tuba, but it is light enough to be versatile.
This is definitely a first. If anything, I feel like I've been being ignored by the whole tuba community, because you know they're mostly classical, and they approach the instrument very, very differently than I do. Almost everything I do is what they don't do. You know, if I'm playing a jazz solo, first of all, I'm standing up. I play with a strap. You know, I stand up and I like to say I like to get some leg into it, you know what I mean? Lorne Michaels was given my number by a producer that I had worked with, a guy named Joe Boyd, at some party in LA. So he gave my number to Howard Shore, who, you know, the film composer, who was the musical director of the first Saturday Night Live. And he remembered me from a thing I did on Canadian TV with Mingus in '64. So he said, okay, and you know, he had an idea of what I did. So he gave me a call. You know, I went up to his office and he told me all about it. And I told him that I would like to be helpful and get him some guys, but I didn't want to be involved myself. He said, no, you know, why not? It's at the worst, you'll be getting, as contractor, you'll be getting 13 weeks at double scale, you know. So I said, well, that's the problem. It's a little too regular, you know. The reason that I didn't like what I heard on television was because guys get really good paying gigs like that, and they suddenly have some turf to defend that they didn't have before. So they get a little careful. The music gets more and more careful, and pretty soon they're not playing anything, you know. By 13 weeks, you know, it could be a disaster. And he said, well, if you feel that way about it, then you are the man for the job. Get a bunch of other troublemakers like you, and we'll have a great band. We first called it substructure. And nobody could quite remember. They knew it was sub something, but they didn't know what. Substandard or sub, you know, I don't know, you know, subterranean. They could never remember. So I changed it to gravity. But yes, we started that in 1968. And, you know, since I have a good range on the tuba, most professional tuba players have at least, you know, 3.5 octaves. You know, really good ones, always 4. You know, and don't even try that on your trumpet. I'm telling you, you know, it's not going to happen. So I figured, well, if we can play in the range of trombones, then you can have a trombone section and you can have a tuba section. So that's what I did. I got some guys who had similar range and abilities, and we got it started. In Germany, they have these regional radio stations, and they each have their own orchestra, own symphony orchestra, and their own big band. What initially was called the Tanzorchester, like a dance band, and some of them have turned into jazz bands. And I did the one in North Germany, in Hamburg, for 4 years, as the baritone sax and bass clarinet player, and occasionally I'd play tuba also. I love playing the tuba. That's the main thing, you know. I don't know why everybody doesn't want to play one of these. It's like a very welcome, kind of sensual experience to play it. You know, you kind of have to put your arms around it and put your lips on it. You know, that's not too bad. And I love jazz, so I wanted to play the music I love on the instrument I love.